I would like to start with saying that this assessment is part of the World Bank collaboration with the Inter-American Development Bank and the United Nations Economic Commission for Latin America and the Caribbean, ECLAC. It will inform a more detailed evaluation of damages and economic losses, which is being led by the Planning Institute of Jamaica and includes the partners that I just mentioned. Before presenting the results, it's important to establish what this assessment is and what this assessment is not. So, GRADE, Global Rapid Post-Disaster Damage Estimation, is a remote approach that uses sophisticated techniques like catastrophe modeling, satellite imaging, social media to estimate the direct cost of damage in a short time, in a matter of 2-3 weeks, to inform early decision making. Results are given by parish and by 4 asset classes. These are residential, non-residential, infrastructure, and agriculture. However, the GRADE assessment only assesses physical damage. It does not consider economic losses, and it does not consider the additional costs for building better. It's only like-for-like replacement costs. The GRADE methodology, which the World Bank has developed and used across the world, is meant to support early decision-making in the aftermath of shocks and events, and it actually delivers quite a high level of accuracy of about 90%. Very quickly about the data we used: scientific event data, vulnerability data, remote sensing data, historical damage data, built assets data, census and socioeconomic data, and reported damages in the official sources, media, and social media. Okay. And now the key results. The total cost of damage is estimated at $8.8 billion US dollars, which is 41% of the gross domestic product of Jamaica in 2024. As I said, this number assumes only physical damage. The economic damage will, of course, be also large, and often from our experience, it's even larger than the physical damage. But this will be estimated later when the DALA assessment is completed. Parishes of St. Elizabeth, St. James, Westmoreland experienced the worst damage, and these 3 parishes account for a total of $5.5 billion US dollars, or 63% of the country's total damage. This slide shows total damages by parish for 4 categories that I mentioned before: residential buildings, non-residential buildings, infrastructure, and agriculture. I would like to note that the breakdown by parish should be taken as indicative, and this will be verified in the future estimates. The first one, residential building damages, account for $3.7 billion US dollars, and this is 41% of the total estimated damages, and this is the largest category of damages. It includes houses and their contents, and also includes mixed-use buildings which are characterized as residential. The second category is non-residential buildings and their contents damage. It accounts for 20% of the total damage, equal to $1.8 billion US dollars. And this includes commercial, industrial, tourism, public buildings, and non-residential qualified as mixed-use buildings and their contents. The third group is infrastructure damage. It was estimated at $2.9 billion US dollars, which accounts for 33% of the total damage, and this includes power networks, water networks, telecoms, seaports, jetties, coastal structures, airports, roads, bridges, and equipment. And the final group is agricultural damages, which is estimated at $389 million US, with notable damages to the fishing sector, livestock, dairy, cash crops, vegetables, and fruit trees. I would like to repeat that this is only physical damage, and that economic damages from lost sales, tourism, lost tourism arrivals, and so on are likely to be at the same level or even of a high level of magnitude. And this actually is true very true about the agriculture sector, where economic damages are likely to be higher than the physical damages. This is the best snapshot at this time, which is, as I mentioned, 90% accurate. We will be issuing a joint press release with IDB, and there will be a report which will be available to everyone. All the data, all the information will be open source. Everybody will be able to use this data and will serve as a basis for future assessments. In closing, I would like to say that the total estimated damages exceed any recent historical event. This means that the recovery will be an enormous and long-term task. It will require a well-coordinated strategic approach to ensure speed, efficiency, and transparency, and a whole of society effort from local institutions, the private sector, and from communities. Great estimated costs of replacement don't take into account the building forward better, but it is important to build forward better, so the costs of replacing the damaged infrastructure and damaged assets will be higher than this assessment. The substantial residential damage, although significant, gives an opportunity to build forward better, and building regulations will be critical in this regard, but the benefits can be as high as $6 for every dollar spent. And my final message is, if we work together, reconstruction can be an opportunity to reimage Jamaica and to rebuild a resilient Jamaica for the future. Thank you.